Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Islam is Beautiful, a program that adds value to you. My name is Salma Aditulawal. Thank you for joining us.
Fortunate is he. Fortunate.
This program is sponsored in memory of Ajiya Fauziya Kende Lola Ali. May Allah grant her Alijan of Fidaus. Amen.
His thoughts of Allah and Judgment Day.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Today on the program, we shall be discussing a topic: women, work, family, and dream. How do you juggle all of this together as a Muslimah? To do this chit-chatting with me today, I have Sister Khadija.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sister Rahma.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And Sister Mistura.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Every human being that Allah has created was created for a purpose. There's a reason why Allah has created every single one of us. Now, this purpose, some people die without realizing on earth. May Allah never let us die without realizing our purpose on earth. Some people, their purpose is to teach, to buy and sell. Some people, their purpose is to just make sure that the world goes round well by making discoveries and all. Now, for every human being that realizes this must have a dream. Now, as a Muslim woman, how do you juggle your dream, your work, your family as a Muslim? My sister, first, before we start anything, who is a Muslim woman, a Muslimah?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A Muslimah is the ideal Muslim woman, the role model Muslim woman that other people will look up to in terms of a behavior, a dress code or a dressing, and a contribution to the home and to the society at large.
Mashallah.
Inshallah.
Do you have anything to add to that, Rama?
A Muslim woman is that woman who has Islamic faith, believes Islam 100%, practices it. Is that she's born in the religion or she converted into Islam?
Mashallah, that's a Muslimah. Now, as a Muslimah, I have work, family, and my dream. These three things, how do you think they can affect my life, my worship, and my entire being as a Muslim?
Yeah, they have significant effects because if you want to look at it, they're interrelated. Fine, as Muslims, we can say that the man has a responsibility of taking care of the woman. But in the kind of society we find ourselves today, we find that women to have to contribute sometimes to the household to make it economically stable. So when the woman has to juggle between her own work, her dreams, and her religious life, I think one of the steps she should take is she should look at she should have a mentor. She should look at the women the women that were there during the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Look at Khadija, for example, alayhi salatu wasalam. She was a businesswoman. She was wealthy. She didn't say because of Islam came and then she stopped her business and her work. So it's kind of a guide to tell you that it's actually possible to combine, how you now do it is what matters most.
Mashallah, how you now do it is what matters. So it's possible to be a Muslim woman, have a dream, have a family, and have your work.
Yeah,
yes, it is possible. But most people say it like, as a Muslim woman, one of the things you should do is you must wear hijab. And they say it like, when you wear hijab, there are some things you should not do, or there are some things you don't have the right to do. Some even say business is not good for women, like it exposes them to things and the likes. But if Allah hasn't forbidden it in the Quran, it is allowed. Like my sister rightly said, Khadija, she married the Prophet, she was his boss. The marriage, she still continued, and the Prophet really loved her so much. So for her to be able to manage those things together, I think what a woman needs is how to manage all the things together.
Okay.
But it's just good.
In addition to that, your hijab is not a limiting factor. The hijab is a veil. It's supposed to protect you against insults and supposed to earn respect for the woman that adorns it.
You said that a Muslim woman must adorn the hijab. Now, for a woman who is in a society like ours, has a dream, has a family, has work, do you think the hijab is a limiting factor?
No, it adds to it adds respect to the woman.
Okay.
It protects women from being insulted, from being harassed, because the woman that covers her head up, even the Virgin Mary, mother of the Prophet Isa, she always had the veil on. So it's not something that you should see and be antagonistic about. No, it's something that should even protect you as a woman, give you add to your person.
Value as a
Yes,
I think the
give
problem
you
with the hijab
respect.
is with the Muslimah. Most of us are not confident about the hijab that we find there are challenges. Find there are people around us that are not Muslims that don't understand. Some people can't even understand. They can't even stick. They can't even think about why you should cover your head in the first place. But when you have the qualities, when you believe in Allah, and then you are confident of what you're doing, that you're serving Allah, you will always try. You will always succeed. You always succeed
And
one way or
there's-
the other.
there's
So it
no-
shouldn't be a barrier to whatever
Yeah,
you're
in
doing.
addition to that, there's no bride, regardless of your faith, that you'll see that will not have a veil on her head. So if a Muslim woman decides to adorn the veil at all times, then so be it.
Okay.
It takes
So,
nothing from her, it
takes
adds to a person.
Okay. Now, how can one discover and know the purpose, my purpose on earth first? How do I know that this is what I am cut out to do?
First, originally, what you're cut out to do in this world is to worship Allah.
Mm.
And then perhaps you now have a dream, something you like doing. Sometimes it comes in form of talent. It's just inborn. You just decide, you discover that you just know how to do this thing. And sometimes you learn it and you develop interest. The best work you can do in this world is to be something that you're actually interested in and you like doing, not something that you're coerced to do or you're forced to do. You won't do it well. So if a woman likes a particular, maybe she likes to do business, she found out that she likes selling things, that could be her own calling, or she finds out that she likes to teach people things, or she likes to teach children. That could be and she really enjoys it. That could be her dream. That could be what she really wants to do.
To do.
Yeah. In
Okay.
addition to that, our main mission on earth, as you said, is to worship Almighty Allah. And after that, we should know that we as we are an individual on ourselves, we must have a dream. Then after that, we have the role of being a mother. We must play that role to the hilt for our children, so that, because if we fail in that role, it will affect the whole society. We also have the role of wives to play to our husbands. That role itself must be managed properly, because when you give total support to a man, it helps the man in everything he does in his life, and that will also affect the family as a whole. And you have a role to your parents too as children. So the role of a Muslimah, it's a whole unit. You cannot afford to fail in either. So you cannot afford to allow one affect the other, regardless of whatever. Be you a single mother. If you're a single mother, then as a whole, that is a fraction. That is 25% of a whole. So if you're not playing that role as a wife, you have a role to your parents as a child, you have a role to your children as a mother, and you cannot afford to fail.
Okay, and then you have the role to Allah that you must play, because there's something you must be doing to earn Allah's reward, and that is the act of worship.
Yes.
The thing, whatever it is you're doing, you're adding value. Now, if we must sacrifice, as a Muslim woman, you have said it, this is a society where some of the times it's difficult to juggle all of these things together, especially for people who don't know time management very well. How do you think should be sacrificed?
Talking about sacrifice, I don't tell a woman, especially married women, I wouldn't advise them not working. I really would not support that idea, like a married woman should not work. In the world of today, anything can happen. We see a man married to a woman will tell her not to work, and after some time he lost his job. And start telling the woman, why are you not even working? Why are you so jobless? What I would say is a woman should just discover that unique selling point in her. Build it up. Take it passionately and do something for ourselves. Managing all those things together, you just have to like sit down, look at it. What time does my children go to school? What time do they come back? What time do I have to be at the office? What time does my husband take us food in the morning, afternoon, and evening? Try to manage all of these things together. Nobody can train you to do that, because you know your house better than any other woman out there do. So when you can know all of this, try to balance them. And I tell you, you actually enjoy doing that.
I think key.
And in addition to that, when you know you spend so much time at work, make your weekends, make it solely for your children. Don't indulge in outings when you know that throughout the week you're at work. If it's Saturdays, you decide to cook for the family and put whatever you have to put aside in the freezer, do that. And make sure Sundays you leave it for your family. Give them quality time, because no doubt about it, if you lose, you don't give to the children what they deserve when they deserve it. And they deserve love all the time. If you refuse to do that, in the long run will affect you, and it will not be so pleasant.
So pleasant. In a society like ours, again, that is not an Islamic society where you can ask for help and all of those, must you always ask? Because in time management, you must ask for help from whoever wants to help. Now, you may have to leave your child with somebody who is not a Muslim. You may have to work with people in a non-Muslim organization. You may even have to leave your family, as in leave your home, in the hands of a non-Muslim, maybe a housekeeper or a caregiver who will come into your home. Now, if all of these things happen, as a Muslimah, we know that the main purpose we're on earth is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do you think that you can do this without infiltrating your family?
Yeah, that is why the kind of decisions you make, a woman that wants to work and combine it with raising her family well, properly, she has to be wise. She has to take very concrete decisions that will, even she will see that it's yielding the positive results she has to see. For example, Lydia, I don't think it's ideal for you. You won't be at home, but you've left your children with somebody that won't teach them the deen, that when it's time for school, I won't say, go and pray. That you should, in fact, you should leave your children with people that when you get back, your children, you can actually ask them, what have you done? And they say, this is what I've done. Because when you fail on your children, then I don't see the essence of the work you're doing.
Okay.
You will regret it. You will be full of regrets when they've grown up and you find out that they've turned out to be what you don't want them to be. So the best thing is, when you have to do that, make sure you make arrangements that will ensure that your children get the appropriate kind of care. Now, we're not even talking just about Islam. Let's come to normal life now. One of the things that affect the child is the care, the type of care that child gets. The type of care, when you put your child with a childminder that won't wash his hands after using the toilet, that won't feed your child properly, that will stuff the food in the child's mouth when you're not there. It's not just the spiritual aspect of that child that will be affected, but the health, the physical, the emotional aspect, everything. So you have to be careful. Whoever, if you're going to put a substitute for yourself, you're going to put somebody at home to stand in for you, then you have to make sure that person is suitable, that person is accountable, that person, even you can see the results of the care that person is actually giving your child.
Aside from that, most mothers, when they go to work and they come back, when you come back, you know you're tired, but you shouldn't let the children see that you're tired. They tell the child,
She becomes superwoman.
Just go and sleep, I'm so tired. When you come back, you're supposed to feel them, tell them, move close to them, ask them, how did your day go? What did you do? As at 2 o'clock, what did you do? This and this and this. Get closer to them. But one of the problems women have today is when they come back from work, they're like, I'm too tired to do this, I'm just tired. Tomorrow we'll talk, and the time is not
In addition to that, most mothers now leave their role to house helps, helps. But the only thing the helps can do for you is just to give your children the value they have. Because regardless of what the kind of job you're doing, you must have a period of time that you'll know that this is my children time. You know, they call it quality time. And when you want to give to those children what they deserve, you'll be the better for it. When you come back from work, even if you're tired, I know I have sisters that will spend their time with the children doing their homeworks in the evening. You know, it's possible. But when you now say, I'm back from work and I'm so tired, the child wants you to help with the homework, and you say, go and meet auntie, whatever. You know, you're affecting your child's future.
Yes. Now, with all of this that we have stated, do you think it is easy for a woman to have a dream? Because this is just work and family we're talking about now. And we're saying time. We all know that we are only entitled to 24 hours in a day. So how, if I am not going to give a caregiver, if I have to get an appropriate caregiver, I don't have the wherewithal to get a very appropriate one. If I have to put my kids in a place where, don't you think you're beginning to talk of sacrifice? The woman must...
Yes, she has to make sacrifices. Yes. Obviously, she has to make sacrifices. And for her to even be comfortable at that job she's doing, she has to be sure that her children are okay, they're in safe hands. If you put your children in the hands of somebody that you're not comfortable with, or you come home and your children tell you all sorts of things, you'll be comfortable at work. You will be settled at work. So anything that will not make you comfortable, and you have to make your children are your future. They work tomorrow. They can tell you to go. They can get another person. If you fall sick or you fall ill and you can't come to work and you stay at home for a while, they'll get somebody else to replace you. But you will always be with your children and with your family. So they should always come first. Nothing should take you away totally from them.
That is why some women sometimes they leave their career, during the child rearing stage, they stay with the children. Then after the children have attained a certain age, you have a 10-year-old daughter. She can talk. She can tell you what's happening. And these days, when you see these caregivers do all sorts, some people even put CTC and say.
And do you know, is it by staying with them that they don't do these things? Even when you're there, they abuse some children. Even when the mother is a full housewife.
Not to not talk of when you're
not
there.
When you are not there, you know, even at the job you're doing, when your mind is not at rest, you will not be able to give the best and give your best and concentrate on your job. So I think as mothers we should, if we sacrifice our dream for our children, we will reap it in future.
As a Muslimah, the family comes first. Now, how you run the family so that on the day of Yom Kiyama you don't get blamed?
Yeah, we have responsibility, but our primary responsibility is to worship Allah and take care of our children.
Take care of the children.
If you achieve that dream, alhamdulillah for you, on the day of judgment, you'll be questioned on how you use it. But if you don't, nobody is going to ask you.
That you do.
You understand? But when you don't take care of your children, like we said in the...
Are you sure nobody is going to ask you?
About your dream?
Yes, there's a reason you were created, to worship Allah.
Yes.
And your worship, the worship Allah we are talking about is not just the 5 pillars of Islam. Do you understand? The worship, for instance, your worship, the main reason Allah created you, the type of worship Allah wants from you is to teach people, to let people know something that you have.
Yes. If you have that, but it is going to contradict your primary role, your children, your future. You have to make a choice. That primary responsibility, like Allah says, subhanahu wa ta'ala says that a woman also has rights, similar, is key to whatever else. Every other thing is secondary. That is primary. That is why we are talking about finding alternatives, putting them in appropriate places. Making sure that they are okay so that you can be comfortable in doing whatever. You as a mother know that if you put your children in the hands of somebody that you're not comfortable with, that dream, you will achieve it in the long run.
And Almighty Allah will not make children a menace to the society. Once you have a child, once you train one child, you train a nation, the whole nation. If we pray to Almighty Allah to give us children that will be coolness to our eyes. If you have a child that becomes a menace to the society, I mean, God forbid that. And if we do not want our children to turn out badly, we must invest. We must invest our time, we must invest our love, we must invest our money. So we cannot afford to say we have a dream, we're projecting. Some of us have 6 children. You now want to follow your dream. When you follow your dream, it's of benefit for you and you alone. But you train a child, you are training a nation. You don't know the number of children your one child will have. And you can now see the number you have on ground already. So
and
please.
You work, maybe you're a government worker or federal worker or wherever you teach. You can just do that for a particular time of your life. Your children will always be
there
part
for you.
of your life.
Yes.
So why would you sacrifice them for something that you're just doing
will end as a face?
I think for a woman to even have time for her family, her children, and every other thing, she needs to have a personal business whereby you determine when you go to work, you determine when you close. Some posts will tell you your children.
That is if you have to pursue any kind
Most
of dream.
of them,
That is one that you can
now
control
it's about
the
interest.
time.
Everybody cannot be an entrepreneur. It is good, but that is not what everybody wants to do. So what we're just going to say is that we can relate it to being an entrepreneur. You have your own time. You can do your own things. But if you put somebody that is not cut out to be an entrepreneur in a business, you find that person is not making profit. There are business schools.
The person can learn from.
There are business schools you can learn from.
Be you an entrepreneur, an academician,
What we are saying in essence is the woman shouldn't remove the work part.
Must prioritize. Yes, she must know what is priority. I mean, comes top most. I mean, once you know that you must worship your God, then you'll be able to focus and
like you said, the good advice is you can prioritize. Okay, for the first 10 years of my life, I'll raise my children. When they are old enough, then I'll start pursuing my dream.
Then I'll have time for myself.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us. It is not easy. That's why Muslim women are very strong. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to be good Muslims and better Muslimas. Now we'll take a break for our other segments of this program and then we'll return. Bismillah. On our Read a Book segment today, we will be recommending to you a book titled You Can Be the Happiest Woman in the World. It is a combination of Quranic verses, prophetic sayings, sincere advice, objective stories, thoughtful ideas, and faithful experiments that would guide you women to the right path, which leads to comfort,
content, assurance, love, and happiness in this life and in the hereafter. The careful assimilation and punctual application of the content of this book after having steadfast faith in Allah and asking His refuge at times of both ease and hardship will definitely help every reader not only to achieve the above basic objective, but also become among the happiest women on earth. We implore every Muslim woman who is content with Allah as her Lord, Islam as her religion, and Muhammad as her prophet to pick this book today and read and imbibe. Remember, readers are leaders.
I think my mom is amazing. She wakes early in the morning with a smile, and she holds my head up high. Don't you ever let anybody put you down, 'cause you are my little angel. And she makes something warm for me to drink, 'cause it's cold out there, she thinks. Then she walks me to school, yes, I ain't no fool. I just think my mommy is amazing. She makes me feel like I can do anything. And when she's with me, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. After school, she's waiting by the gate. I'm so happy that I just can't wait to get home to tell her how my day went. Eat the yummy food only my mom makes. Then I wind her up 'cause I don't want her bath. And we run around the house with a laugh. No matter what I say, she gets her way. I think my mommy is amazing. She makes me feel like I can do anything. And when she's with me, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. In the evening, she tucks me into bed, and I wrap my arms around her head. Then she tells me a tale of a girl far away who one day became a princess. I'm so happy I don't want her to leave, so she lies in bed with me. As I close my eyes, how lucky am I to have a mom that's so amazing. She makes me feel like I can do anything. And when she's with me, there's nowhere else I'd rather be.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, you're welcome back. My sisters, we have said a lot, but I think to a very good extent is a personal thing. The way I will manage my time is different from the way you manage your time. But one thing is, we must be sincere with ourselves, know that the major thing we have come to the world to do is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then the fruits that our children that He has bestowed on us as gifts, we must do our responsibility. Then every other thing can come after. So we must know how to manage our time. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us. Now, there's a Muslimah out there that is thinking that, okay, and I'm in this situation, or I want us to give that Muslimah an advice.
My advice to the Muslimah is just that she should leave Islam. She should put Islam in everything that she does. She's working, she's not working, she's at home with her kids, she's an entrepreneur, she's a business, she's not an entrepreneur, she's an academic, she's not an academic. Put worship in everything. Kind of create time for your family. Spend that quality time with your children. If you have to leave them because of your work, then make sure you make it up. You know what your children are learning. You have time to, even not just your children, even your husband. Because you would agree with me that working might sometimes affect the kind of time women spend with their husbands. So it's just Islamize everything. The spare time you have, take it, let it be like a worship time. Read books together, listen to sermons together, attend lectures together, spend it qualitatively, then involve yourself in charitable acts a lot. To carry out charitable acts even when you're working does not, even in the office, it does not take your time. So it should be something that you should do a lot, and also always justify your intentions when you're doing it.
Yeah, what I think is this: a woman should have an entrepreneurial mindset, because when you ask brothers out there today, they will tell you, "I want a woman that is working." And most times when they marry those women, they'll tell them, "Don't work again." And you'll be like, "You were saying you wanted a woman that is working." They would say, "Because you don't have time for the kids." The woman should be able to prioritize and create time for the children, stay with them at all time, and also when she has a business, she'll be able to do all of these things because she determines when she goes to her office, when she closes from work. No boss is there to harass her or tell her what to do.
In conclusion, what I will say is that we all women, Muslim women, must know that there's no superwoman. There's only a super God. And I mean, we should always put whatever it is we're doing, we can't be perfect. And I remember when Fatima got married to Abdullah and went to her father, the workload was so much as a mother at home. She went to her father thinking he'll give her someone to assist her in the house. What he gave to her was prayers. Subhanallah 33 times, Alhamdulillah 33 times, and Allah Akbar 34 times. So whatever it is, no matter how much workload you have on you, once you put your main mission on earth, once you focus on it, and you say, I mean, we rely on Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it will make it easy for us, inshallah.
May Allah make it easy for us. Tawakkul is what we have recommended here. Rely totally on Allah and let Him hit your task for you. He knows you more than you know yourself. You can't even do His work for Him. He knows what you have come to work to do. So be sincere with your intention and see Allah exhibit the power that He has over us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to juggle all of these things together. We have recommended this advice and we believe that if you take them, they will be good for you in this world and in the hereafter. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us. Thank you for watching today's program. We hope that you do join us again next week. From my sisters and I here, we say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.